Hi, everyone. This is Stephanie from the Yale Alumni Association Regional Clubs team, and I'm super excited because it is finally game week. Last year, as you know well, we did not have a game, but we did celebrate the Pep Rally because we wanted to highlight all things Yale. And last year, we talked to some incredible former athletes, some current students, some members of the Precision Marching Band. You may recall my friends James and Rory Lockman came on to tell their story of how they got married at the 50-yard line at the bowl and some of their favorite memories from the game. And this year is no different. Even though we are going to be gathering on Saturday at the bowl, we are super excited to share stories again this year of memories of the game. And of course, we could not include more friends from the Yale Precision Marching Band. So to kick off the All Things Pep Rally Game Week, we have two members who I am going to have join us in just a moment, Shana and Betsy, who are going to share some of their favorite memories from Precision Marching Band. So stay with us all week as we go live on Yale Alumni Live. We've got a virtual alumni village going on Friday and Saturday, but let's get started with Betsy and Shana because they have some amazing stories. So Shana, hello.
Hello.
And let's bring Betsy on with us. Hello, Betsy.
Hello.
Yay. We're so excited to have you guys here today and to talk about your memories of the game and your experiences with the Precision Marching Band because we know it's a pretty incredible group. And what I have to show, so I'm throwing this all off, you guys, since we talked earlier in the week, we talked about what we were going to talk about, but then today I came across this really cool video that I'd like to share with everybody. It's a recruitment video that the Precision Marching Band utilized, I think it was last year is what it looks like, to recruit new members. And it really struck a chord with me. So I'm going to share this video and then we're going to have Betsy and Shana do a little bit of a blind react. So I'm going to bring this video up and then we're going to talk about their experiences and what is so special about the YPMB. So let's bring this video up. Can you guys see the video? You ready?
Yeah, okay.
All right, let's go. So I was watching your faces and I thought to myself, see, this is exactly what they said to me. So Shana and Betsy, your stories, from what I understand, are relatively similar as to how you came to the band. So let's start with you, Shana, and you can give us a little bit of a reflection of how you came to join the band and what that was like for you in your early days at Yale.
Yeah, so I showed up at Yale and I knew I was a huge football fan. So I knew that I wanted to go to football games. And I also knew that if I didn't have a reason to go, I would definitely talk myself out of it. So I joined the band. I am a classically trained singer. So it's not like I played anything. And I think Yale is one of the few places where that was totally not an issue. Like, oh, you don't need to play anything. Come on. And so I joined the percussion section and never looked back. It was just a warm, wacky, wonderful group of people. And I was hooked after the first field practice.
So nothing has changed from that, from your time to the video that we just watched. Everyone, come as you are. You have a place in the band. And Betsy, you had a similar experience as well, right?
I did. I first saw the band at my Bulldog days. I'm local. I grew up around New Haven. That was, in high school, like you go to New Haven when you want to have a, cool, fun time.
I agree with that.
But I went to Bulldog Days, and I don't even remember what meeting I was coming to or from, and I saw this shaggy horde of people kind of romping across the old campus, throwing buttons at people and singing and screaming, "Run away!" And I kind of went, "They're having fun." So by the time Freshman Bazaar rolled around, I went and found those people, and kind of like Shana, I had a musical background. I was a pianist, but I didn't have a marching instrument, so I joined the percussion section. Yeah.
So basically exactly what they say in the video. They have the most fun. They are just always enjoying one another's company, and that's very evident in that video. So that's what both of you experienced in your early days of the band as well.
Absolutely. One of the wonderful things is that I think it happens a lot of places in Yale, but the upperclassmen really just instantly sort of welcomed you. I think because there's no, like, they take everybody. So there's no competition. There's a wonderful role for anyone and everybody. And certainly I felt that people were looking to figure out what special thing I could bring and change the band for the better, times however many people join every year.
And how many
Let's
members
also
were
say
there?
we both came into the band kind of with different kinds of musical training. That's not to say "come as you are" meant everybody, played different instruments. There were all state musicians, incredible members that played in the concert band and the jazz ensemble. So it was really this range. And the video also pointed out that a facility with cardboard does not go undervalued.
I mean, it never does. It never does.
I still have on my resume some experience with pyrotechnics. Back before 2001, I don't think it was ever particularly smiled upon, but there was certainly more leeway to set things on fire and occasionally have some explosions.
Yeah.
I don't know how you couldn't have fun with that. So that makes perfect sense. So tell me, how big was the band in your day? How many members were there?
I would say, when we were at the latter part of the season, Harvard Princeton games, we were over, 100, 120 people at its height.
That would have been my estimation too. And reliably 80 all the way up.
Yeah.
And then, somewhat 125 is would be an easy estimation.
Enough people that we could go from spelling Eli to actually spelling Eli Yale on the field. That was nice.
I mean, that's impressive. That's a feat. Right? I love that. So Betsy, tell us now, you held a special role in the band. Will you tell us a little bit about your role?
Sure. As I said, I was in the percussion section throughout my time, but I decided to run for drum major in my senior year and was lucky enough to get that job. So I was the conductor during the tercentennial celebration too, which was an added bonus. So I was conducting, and at the time I was the first woman to have the job in something like 20 plus years and only the second ever. And I'm pleased to say that trend is continued. There's much more gender equity in drum majors now.
That's amazing. Do you have any special memories from that experience? I saw a really adorable photo of you, look like from a men's basketball game, conducting the band. Is there any special memory you can share from that experience, having been especially the second woman to hold the position?
Yeah, so there's, it's hard to pick just one. I will say being able to lead the tercentennial parade into Beinecke Plaza was fantastic. It was really cool. We had a wonderful electric guitarist who put his amplifier up on the lip of the Noguchi pit there, and we played the Beatles' Happy Birthday. That was pretty fun.
That is really awesome.
I will also say I was lucky to be there, as was Shana, for some really great football seasons.
Yeah. So speaking of which, I mean, that's kind of the spirit of things right now is the game on Saturday, and folks are really excited to return to the bowl on Saturday, which is amazing. How lucky are we that, we were off for a year, but now we're in New Haven and alumni can gather. We know that alums love coming to the bowl. It really is a reunion of sorts for folks. So last year we shared memories of the game through all the folks that we talked to during the Pep Rally. So do you have a particular memory from the game that you would like to share? Shana, I'm almost afraid to ask, but I want to hear. Go ahead.
We were there for the catch. It had been a rough few years. The end of the Carm Koza era was, I think, a time when football was changing and the up the middle every down was not really working the way it should. And oh my God, didn't EJ like have a fever or something particularly? Like I think he was like 3 weeks into a bout of pneumonia, but he managed to make this amazing diving catch into the end zone. The game of my senior year, which was it was everything
that was a beautiful catch
to be.
And that was my freshman year was Jack Sidlecki's first year.
Mm-hmm.
And we went 1-9, I think. That was not our best. But Shana's senior year, we went 9-1. And EJ made that amazing catch.
Do we even care about any other games?
No. My senior year, the next year, people forget Eric Johnson made an equally remarkable catch in the away game at Harvard. It was this kind of like one-handed, amazing helmet grab kind of deal. Very dramatic.
Oh, yeah.
So so I think about this all the time. I did not go to an undergraduate school that had a football program, but when I go to games, when I've gone to the Yale games, the thing that really makes me feel like I'm at a big football game or an important game is the band. When you hear the band start to play, you really feel like you're in the moment, in the environment. What was that like for both of you the first time that you really kind of came into the bowl and were part of the band and part of this scene, this big moment? What was that like for you? And did it die down over time, or did it feel special almost every time?
I still love walking through the tunnels.
Yeah.
There's something very special about the bowl. I mean, it's a unique design. With my historian hat on, the bowl is more than 100 years old, and it's a very special design. So when you're walking through those tunnels and just kind of the pastoral green, the echo, it's such a storied field. And I still walk through those tunnels and kind of get a little feeling.
Get the feels. What about you, Shana? What was it like for you?
It's amazing. I mean, I think that the band is guardian of a lot of tradition. So when you think about the role that cheerleaders used to play, and I was very privileged to know some of the old men from the 20s and 30s who looked at me and were like, I'm not sure I understand you, but you're a Yale man. And so I think we picked up some of those traditions. It was very much about having the wildest, craziest fun we could have, but in a puckish sort of way. Like we were very interested in pushing boundaries of sophomoric humor, and enjoying ourselves. I will say though that like as much as it was about enjoying ourselves as the band, we showed up and we were a party. It was also about supporting Yale and the football players. One of my favorite memories is the Penn game my sophomore year was a downpour. It rained. Like it didn't just like drizzle. It rained. Sheets of rain. They finished the game. It was the band trying not to drown the like brass section and Dean Broadhead. And we were there. We were soaked, but we finished the game and we cheered our boys on.
That's awesome.
The band always wins.
The band always wins.
The band always wins. And the band has a lot of uniform. I don't know if the uniform is the right word, but do you have a lot of buttons, a lot of things? Can you tell us a little bit? I know you have some of them on, Shana. Can you tell us a little bit about the things of the band? Besides instruments, I get that.
Huh. Well, they're instruments.
Some of the things are instruments.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the shwi?
Let's talk about the shui.
I mean, what's there to say?
The uniform, such as it is go find some white pants, which,
Yeah.
extremely stylish. But, a plain blue blazer.
Blazers are issue. And
Beyond that, it's an exercise in personal expression. I had epaulets on mine and some buttons.
Yeah. My husband did a lot with duct tape. His blazer is still somewhere in a closet. So he had like Y99 in duct tape along with his buttons, and yeah, you figured out what you wanted to say.
I love that. What does your button say right now, Shana?
So mine, I am only wearing the classic "I came because of the Yale band." It's true in so many ways. And also this is very special to me and Betsy, the Yale Prodigal Band.
Yes, let's talk about that. Tell us a little bit about that. I was going to get to that next. I'd love for you to share a little bit about that.
That was kind of a mutual brainstorm, although Shane, I think you may have had the idea first. Both of us being local, we're noticing that sometimes during things like spring break, sports teams would still have matches, get into playoffs, things that were pretty high stakes, and students weren't on campus. And we went, well, there are a lot of us who still live in the area, and we're not that rusty, so maybe we could get together and play a couple songs to make sure, as Shana said, that we're supporting Yale teams.
I mean, to be clear, we are that rusty, but we were feisty.
And then it was also the social element too, that we all like each other and would love the chance to see each other for a weekend.
Yeah. So, it was kind of sad to see basketball teams and volleyball teams and hockey teams advancing through the NCAA tournaments, and for completely understandable reasons, because Yale students are students who want to succeed in the world, or take vacations or do other things. They weren't available for those events, and but we could show up. As you said, like it adds a lot to the experience of sports.
I mean, I remember even as a student, the band, if you could get a critical mass together, like we'd go to a squash match, we'd go anywhere where they'd let us play Bulldog, and the athletes were usually thrilled. The band's bread and butter, especially in the winter season, is hockey and basketball, but Yale has so many teams, and many of them are not used to a band showing up and cheering for them and playing a couple fight songs.
Fencing is a hard sell, but but volleyball is a nice thing to show up at occasionally. It's.
I think
so.
That's amazing.
This was
and
a pre-COVID thing, and we had a pilot weekend must have been 2019 in the fall. We did a women's soccer match and a women's volleyball match. It was a ton of fun. We had alumni from a really wide spread of graduation years, and we'd love to do it again.
Yeah, willing to travel. I think we had people easily coming from Boston to New York.
Oh yeah, and by the way, we'd love alumni. Were you not in the band as an undergraduate? That's okay.
Right, that should not hold you back. Maybe you play something now, or your kazoo skills are up to snuff. The
cardboard too. You still want some cardboard artists?
We got to give the cardboard artists their due here, because especially at the Yale Harvard game, the prop section, aka squids, were such a vital part of kind of the theatrics of the biggest halftime show of the season. And they reliably came up with some grand display. My senior year, it was a working pirate ship that had cannon fire. There was also a trebuchet that we tested on the New Haven Green, firing industrial rolls of toilet paper.
And I think we saw an eagle, it looked like, in that video. So clearly skills remain a part of the experience. So we definitely will make sure that folks know how to get in touch with you guys. But so you're still doing this? You'd love to get people together in the future for any opportunities. How do they find you? How would you like them to find you?
I don't know. We both have AYA accounts.
Yeah, go into the AYA directory and look us up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And there's one more element of the alumni band experience, I believe, and potentially as students as well, that I wanted to talk about. You told me about WOM. Will you share a little bit about that?
Oh, the Women of Marching Band. So in the 90s, there was a need for women to sort of band together. It was the era of girl power, and a very different era, I think, in understanding our own powers and the way we manifest patriarchy. So we used to get together and be supportive of each other, and none of that changes when you graduate. So one of the delightful things that has happened to us during COVID is that, like, we sort of needed womb again, not necessarily as a sanctuary from band, but from the world. And so we now have we have transferred from a listserv and a Facebook group to a Discord group, where we're chatting with each other all the time, and it's just been the best. Folks spanning from the early 90s all the way to the aughts and
Very recent grads,
yeah. So
I love it.
fun.
Well, I think, we always talk about the student experience, but the alumni experience lasts much, much longer, as we all know. So it's really wonderful to hear your experiences as members of the band and as alumni members. And, so to bring this full circle, you watched the video at the beginning. Did it feel like you could have just put in the people that you knew saying those same things and feeling those same feelings? Does the band look similar now as it used to?
I think so. Like, it's very recognizable.
Well, I think it's that spirit of inclusion too, which this is where Shana and I both started, where one of the things I always loved, and which as drum major I tried to do too, was, the band were always people who didn't just treat it as a performing organization. They made a point of saying, "Welcome to Yale. We're glad you're here." And, motley collection of weirdos of all kinds, but it was that spirit of inclusion that I think was the band at its best.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you.
I mean, as Shana said, every band is very much a product of its era. I do remember being at hockey playoffs in Ann Arbor when then President Rick Levin walked up to us and asked if maybe we could use the word sucks a little less often.
Well, if you read Shana's bio, you saw that it was still included in there. But I love the disclaimer that they're still really probably nice people.
They might be.
Oh, they might be nice people.
They might be nice people.
Well, let's hope that the band brings the spirit and the energy on Saturday, and we bring home a W for the team. But the band always wins, and that's what I'm going to take away.
and they've got school on Monday, so.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of the Pep Rally and for sharing stories from the Precision Marching Band. It's been a blast getting to know both of you, and I mean it. The band brings so much to the game, so thank you for your contributions. And I really hope that the Prodigal Band can get together in the future, and that I can see you at a hockey or basketball game, and we'll make sure everybody knows how to get involved.
Or fencing.
It's limitless. It's limitless. The Yale spirit does not end at three major sports. It extends throughout.
Everything is improved by a sousaphone.
You're absolutely right. Thank you, guys. It was such a pleasure. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you tomorrow on Instagram, Thursday on Instagram, and Saturday at the Bowl. See you guys later.
Woo!
Bye.
Go Bulldogs.